Hello, good evening. It's day 11, and thanks for still sticking in there with me, guys. Today's special request, low-carb diets. And I thought instead of covering low-carb diets, I would tell you a tale of three carbs. Good carbs, bad carbs, and really, really, really bad carbs. You know, kind of like the Goldilocks and Three Bears thing. So clearly your super refined sugars are your bad carbs, and those really have no place in anybody's diet. So if your goal is to achieve weight loss, those simple sugars should never be included in your diet. So we're going to toss those to the side. And then there are the good carbs and the bad carbs, or maybe they're just bad carbs sometimes. And I really think that the sometimes is an important piece of it. You may have heard of carb cycling before, and that's really something that higher end athletes may use frequently, where they do a lot of carb loading right before a really high endurance event, but then they may have really restrictive days in between. I'm not at all talking about that kind of carb cycling. I'm talking about during the course of a day, how you should best support balancing your blood sugars, helping to increase burning of your fat stores, helping to build lean muscle when you're doing some active activity, and, did I say stabilizing blood sugars already? Stabilize your blood sugar, burn your fat, build lean muscle. So basically, you want to start your mornings out with a really good source of clean protein and a really good source of healthy fats. I'm not going to beat that healthy fats horse anymore because you know what I mean when I say healthy fats, right? Olive oil, coconut oil, nuts, not peanuts, but all the other nuts, nut oils, nut butters. Those are all sources of good healthy fat and good clean sources of protein. So it can't really be the sausage McMuffin at McDonald's when I say clean protein, but, a healthy bit of ground turkey. Shout out to Uncle Larry's turkey sausage this morning that he put on Facebook. But clean protein, clean fats, and a very, 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 put your thumb and your index finger together, a small amount of carbs. You need a little bit of sugar just to get the body going in the morning, but not a whole lot so that you get a big spike and then a big crash, and that makes you feel all brain fuzzy, but it also makes your body go into starvation mode if you don't have enough carbs. So just a little bit in the morning if you don't have enough carbs. And starvation mode at first makes you burn a little bit of fat, but ultimately starts to go into depositing fat because your adrenals think that they're in trouble, that there's a stressful situation, and they want to save all those calories because they don't know when the next food source is coming along. So good protein, good fats, that helps to sustain energy levels so that you make it through lunch, where at lunch you also have good proteins, good fats, and maybe that much carbohydrates. And when I say carbohydrates, again, I'm not talking about those simple sugars, but really good sources of carbs. So green leafy vegetables are good sources of carbohydrate. You can have a half of an apple or a half of a pear. Things that have a little bit of fructose in them but a whole lot of fiber are really good things to do too. Have some broccoli at lunch. Those sources of carbs are good sources of carb. But just that much. 2 fingers together. And then at lunch, I did say lunch. At dinner, make sure that you're having clean protein, clean fats. And this time for dinner, you want to make sure that you have 3 of those little golf balls of carbohydrates. And that really helps to make sure that your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, that those levels remain steady through the night so that you can get to sleep, let all the repair that needs to happen overnight happen, and wake up in the morning without feeling cravings. And by the way, the important thing is you got to eat something in the morning for breakfast. Skipping breakfast, again, just puts the body into that starvation mode and makes you want to hold on to calories instead of really helping you with burning calories. On days when you're doing intense physical activity, you may need to increase that midday carb just a little bit, but the most important thing is in total for the day, half of the food that you've eaten should be plant-based fibers, so your veggies, small amounts of low-sugar fruits, beans. Make sure you soak them if they're dried beans, but beans are a good source of good resistant starch. Good clean protein, so wild, organic, grass-fed, not something that was raised in a pen, and then good, clean sources of healthy fat. So half your plate is your veggies, the rest of it you can mix up with your good protein and good fat, but you also got to move. So anyway, I'm all over the place. Low carbs, not so much, but small, medium, good carbs over the course of the day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, much better plan for helping to achieve healthier weight, and also helps to make sure that you're not always hungry and craving because you're having those wild dips in blood sugars. So eat clean, eat real foods. All right, that's it. Bye.